What's up, guys? It is Wednesday, March 5th, 2025. And as you can see, we're at the Bitcoin block height of 886,497. TikTok next block. Also, we are heading up the price, 91,640. And for $1, guys, you can get yourself 1,091 Satoshi still, 1,100 or 1,092 Satoshis for $1. So it's still a great deal. I wish it was a little lower. I like it back in the 80s where we can get 1,100, but hey, it's still a great deal. But anyways, I decided to take a break from politics today. You guys watched the speech last night and saw how the opposition acted, and these people are disgusting. So we're just going to stick to Bitcoin today. And real quick, guys, if you guys want to join my Discord or my Signal group, Bitcoiners for Freedom, that's what we're going to call it right now. It's for $1 a month. And it's just like kind of like an orange pill app. We can text each other and just have a group of people that you don't have to be a Bitcoiner. I would prefer you stack Bitcoin because everybody's going to stack Bitcoin, but we're freedom fighters, guys. You know what I mean? It's $1 a month. And you go ahead and download the Signal app on your phone. And if you want to get involved with that, let me know. But what we're going to do today is we're going to react to Michael Saylor being on Fox Business talking about, according to this title of this video, talking about whether or not America should buy 1 million Bitcoin. Because I guess he's going to the crypto summit. So let's see what the great Michael Saylor has to say about that.
He will have a seat at Friday's roundtable. Strategy co-founder and executive chair Michael Saylor is here. You should have the most prominent chair, the one with the armchair with the arms on it, because your company owns more Bitcoin than any other company. What, about 500,000 tokens?
Yeah, about 2.4% of the worldwide supply, okay. 500,000.
Jeez. He ain't lying. I mean, right here, guys. He's got 499,096. So just under 500,000 Bitcoin. That is insane when you think about that, man. My goodness. And you see his smile on his face. Freaking love Michael Saylor, man. What a freaking Chad.
Let's just get your view, because everybody's dying to know about the summit and what they think is going to be announced. How do you think this crypto reserve will be financed?
Well, I think that there's a 6-month process that's been laid out by the executive order, and I think the president was fairly deliberate in that. There are 12 members on the Presidential Working Committee. There'll be involvement from the industry, there'll be involvement from the Senate and from the House, and it's above my pay grade to decide how it gets determined. But the Lummis bill has laid out.
Yeah, I don't think that's above his pay grade. But when you got 500,000 Bitcoin and you're a multi-billionaire and know more about Bitcoin than anybody else on the planet, I guess, I don't think it's above your pay grade, Mr. Saylor.
Out the idea of acquiring Bitcoin strategically over 4 years, just consistently day by day in order to reach a million Bitcoin target.
Okay, the government.
Well, that's a little change of tune, because in another video he was talking about, because, he's on Fox Business, so I guess he's trying to, be calm about it and not play the America's hand. But he also said in a couple of videos that he said America should just sell their gold and just buy Bitcoin, just outright, not slowly, 200,000 over 5 years to get the million. He was talking about buying 5 million for gold and basically get it for free. And I got to be honest, I agree with that strategy.
The government has 200,000 Bitcoin, as I understand it. We equal about 17, that's 200,000.
Constantly day by day in order to reach a million Bitcoin target.
Okay, the government has 200,000 Bitcoin, as I understand it. We equal about 17 billion at today's prices.
Let's check that out. Let's see what the U.S. government's got as of right now. It should be at the bottom. All right, United States. We got 198,109 Bitcoin. So, yeah, right about that. Right here at the end. Let's take a look at that. So yeah, we got a balance of 198,109. And again, you know how we got it. You know, we confiscated it from people. So technically, I mean, it is ours, but I don't really like how we got it. But this is where we're at right now. So let's see what happens.
So to get up there, how they would have to purchase Bitcoin, right? So as the government purchases these Bitcoin and other tokens, what is that going to do to the price? I mean, supply goes down, the price goes up?
Well, the most responsible thing would be to go slow and steady and deliberate with clear telegraphing and transparency, so that the real key about Bitcoin is for people to understand that it's digital property. It's a savings account that empowers every single American to save their wealth and preserve it over time. And so what the government can do is to give clarity to the asset class and confidence to every American citizen, so they know they have an alternative to gambling and the stock market.
I know you said that it's above your pay grade to decide, but you are allowed an opinion. Do you think taxpayer money should be used to purchase these tokens and points to fill the reserve?
Well, I think the way to think about the industry is there's digital commodities, that's Bitcoin, an asset without an issuer. There's digital currencies like the stable coins. That's really important for US dollar supremacy and digital commerce. There are digital securities like tokenized stocks and bonds that will actually provide a capital efficiency and globalization for American securities. And then there are digital tokens, assets with issuers that provide digital utility that are very interesting and compelling. Their role is capital creation for the small and mid-sized companies that are blocked from the capital markets right now. I think that it's wise to capitalize a country or a company on a commodity, an asset without an issuer, something like a property. You could buy oil. Bitcoin is a commodity. I think that
XRP is attached to a company, Ripple.
I think that those are tokens, and we should have a regulatory framework to allow them to be issued, because
Issued, but in the reserve? Should they be in the reserve?
I think the emerging consensus in the industry is that Bitcoin should be the element in a strategic reserve over the long term for the country. But if you wanted to support various investments in a sovereign wealth fund, that would be up to the executive branch.
Okay, so let's be clear. I'm hearing you say the reserve fund should really have the tested one, and that is Bitcoin, and not Solana or Cardano or Solana.
And the important thing to keep in mind is Bitcoin is the one universally agreed upon foundational asset in the entire crypto economy, because it's the asset without an issuer. It's neutral. 99% of the energy and the capital has flown into that one. But I want to be clear that the U.S. has the opportunity to be the leader in digital assets if they have a progressive framework that supports currencies, securities, and tokens as well.
Michael, let me play.
What I'm gathering, because again, Michael Saylor is not like us. He's a suit, right? So he's nicely, very in a nice way, correcting the lady, saying Bitcoin is not a token, okay? Bitcoin is a commodity, right? Not a security like the other ones. It's digital capital and a commodity, just like the other things we have in a reserve. But when it comes to a sovereign wealth fund, which again, Donald Trump had announced a couple of weeks ago, maybe you should put some cryptos in there, right? Put some cryptos. And again, you gotta, listen and through what he's saying, because again, he can't just come out and talk like he talks to us Bitcoiners, right? He's talking to the national and world stage here. And again, he's a suit and he has to go by certain things, and he's going to be in the White House. So he's nicely saying Bitcoin should be its own asset as a strategic reserve, strategic Bitcoin reserve. And then the S coins or the securities should be in a sovereign wealth fund as like an investment or something. That's what it is. It's like a, gambling or whatever. It's not a commodity, and it's not capital. It's a security.
The devil's advocate, because I support any choice of, if people want to buy Bitcoin. I never understood why the Gary Gensler SEC was so virulently and vehemently against it. But when you talk about strategic reserves, the U.S. has strategic reserves for things like oil, for things like medical devices and equipment and military equipment, just in case there is some type of crisis and we don't want to be caught flat-footed, because in the best case scenario, like the 1975 oil embargo by the Arabs, the economy took a very big bruising, or worst case scenario, people could die if they don't have the right medical equipment. Who's going to die without Bitcoin? My point is, there are a lot of people who are saying, why do we need this?
You know, the most important thing to understand is that we bought 75% of this nation with about $40 million. So the United States expanded west. We bought Louisiana, we bought California, we bought Texas, we bought Alaska. It's property. If you think of Bitcoin as property in cyberspace, and you say, where is all the money in the world headed? Well, it's headed from foreign countries, China, Russia. It wants to go to cyberspace. It wants to go from the physical world to the digital world. So if you think about Bitcoin as cyberspace, then the logic behind a Bitcoin strategic reserve is not so much you're storing up Bitcoin, it's really that you're taking control of planting the flag in cyberspace, because the digital economy is going to be capitalized on Bitcoin. And if you get there first, before the AIs, before the foreigners, before the Europeans, the Africans, the South Americans, the Russians, and the Chinese, the U.S. can own it and benefit from it.
And I'm just really interested to know, what would you say to the Bitcoin real believers, the real early acolytes who loved it because it doesn't attach itself to any government? And now the government, the U.S. government, is going to be buying it if this does get approved. How do you square that with the people who say, wait, I don't want the U.S. government involved in this?
Satoshi gave us a protocol for prosperity. That's what we call Bitcoin. And it was a great opportunity for empowerment for 8 billion people. But also, there are 400 million companies that need it. There's also every country on earth that needs it. So it's logical that a country that is interested in economic empowerment and prosperity is going to adopt Bitcoin in the same way that a company like mine, in the same way that an individual would.
And as we finish up, let's just say you're sitting there at the table at the summit on Friday, and President Trump says, hey, Michael, I know you're a bigwig in the industry. What's the number one thing I should and shouldn't do with this reserve? What would you say?
I would say the number one thing is lay down clarity amongst digital assets, because there's a lot of conflict and confusion because people misdefine the terms currency, commodity, security, token. And then once you've laid out that framework, if you decide to buy cyberspace, buy it deliberately, progressively, transparently.
And slowly, you said.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Michael Saylor of Strategy, thank you so much.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, let us know how this summit goes. Call us right after.
Yeah, call us right after. Boy, I would love to be a fly in the room in that one. But yeah, there you have it. Michael Saylor on the national stage once again. And, you know, knowing Donald Trump and what he knows about business and early adoptions to certain things, you know, real estate and stuff like that, I believe that Donald Trump knows a lot more about Bitcoin than he's letting on. I really do. And I'm not saying he's like us, because he's got a lot more things to worry about on his plate. He knows what this national debt is, even though Doge is doing a great job as of this recording, and as of this, the debt clock is saying it's at 167.5 billion it's saved so far in these first 6 weeks or so, 5-6 weeks. Donald Trump is a competitive guy, and Michael Saylor is the big guy that owns more Bitcoin than the U.S. government times 2.5. You know, he owns 500,000 to our, as a nation, 200,000. So I think he's going to listen up to Michael Saylor. Now, again, it might get a little tumultuous in there because you got a bunch of, crypto bros in there. And I don't think they particularly like Michael Saylor, the XRP guys and the Cardano guys and the Ethereum dude. But at the end of the day, Michael Saylor has more net worth than all those guys combined. And I'm sure they all own Bitcoin and stuff like that. But all these guys, they dump these S coins, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying, they have no utility and they're just completely wasteful. But when I call it an S coin, it's an S coin compared to Bitcoin. There is no second best, guys, and that's the guy that knows that. And the person that's going to get the most clout in that room, obviously besides Donald Trump, but everybody in the crypto space, quote unquote, is going to be Michael Saylor. And he's not the one that owns any crypto company. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And again, guys, you guys see this national debt. It is absolutely crazy. And this fiat system of where we're spending right here, we're spending 7 trillion right here in the red, because the red is the bad, and we're taking in 5. So we're at a $2 trillion deficit, guys. And inflation is going to get worse before it gets better. And there's only going to be one way, guys, that's going to solve, excuse me, this stuff long term, as far as the national debt, paying it off and stopping inflation. And hopefully Donald Trump understands that, and he buys as much of this as he can before it's too late. And I'm pretty sure you guys already know what it is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.